So, Michael, rough week, mate. Yeah, no, I heard. Look, mate, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, obviously, but just throw the red flag, mate. Just throw the red flag. Fresh tyres, standing start, 3-lap dash to the end, and best of all, mate, especially for you, no lap cars. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing. Today it is the Mexican Grand Prix. Season 2 is winding down, and hopefully we're going to get some more strong results after a double points finish for us last time out in Austin. Apology, there was no episode on Tuesday, but we are back now. As I said, for the Mexican Grand Prix. Now, there's only, a couple of days off between the two races. I've hit the wrong button. Excellent start. So we have two things that we have, or 2 days, I should say, that we can do here. We can do a second driver external training, which will improve sportsman's focus. Driver promo training, which is a little bit of a claim. Team chassis or chassis team building, or a sponsor event conference. Let's do some stuff for sportsman and then take a day off. Or do we do the driver promo filming? We probably should work if we have spare time, shouldn't we? So that's what we'll do. That is that done. Now we have just under 11 million in the bank. A reminder, we're not going to invest in facilities until the off season. The main reason for that is I want to make sure we have money for the driver market should someone try and pinch Schwartzman away from us, or should, maybe we can find somebody that we would like to have as a teammate. So I want to make sure we have that, and we can, as I've said before, just sort of go big in the off season and spend it all at once. R&D, now again, we have just under 1,400 R&D points. We are currently in don't lose what we already have mode. So let's see what we can get done here. We're just trying to keep as much as we can. So we'll do the wheel rims. And then we will, how much have we got left? 700. So we'll probably only do one of these two. So we'll do the tire blankets. It doesn't really matter in terms of this season's performance. It's just sort of what we keep for next season. And the other thing, it's durability, isn't it? So we've got 401 left, so we might just go through and get as many of these. The durability ones are smaller, but obviously still important. And that should just about see us... Oh, we've got 54 points. I think we can just about afford that. And that is just about us done. Is it everything there? 66. Oh, we're 4 points short. Come on, game. So that is that R&D progress. We don't have anything new coming for this season. We have sort of shut up shop on that front. But look at that, we're neck and neck with Ferrari, sort of a fourth best car on the grid right now. The vehicle itself, still frustrating, of course, that we lost our new MG UK in Singapore, but everything else is still in relatively good nick. I think we don't need to worry too much about anything there. Our gearbox has, 2 races to go before we get a new one. So that's all fine. Tire allocation for this week. I don't know if anybody knows how to change it. I don't believe you can. But anyway, it's kind of just is what it is, I suppose. The corporate side of things, we don't yet have another sponsor. What's our acclaim at? We're at level 18. We need to get to level 25 before we can get that fourth sponsor. So we're a little ways away from that. We can see the contracts there. Schwartzman's market value is 4 million. His focus is down. Now, this new thing is supposed to, he's doing in between races is supposed to improve that. So that should take him back up to, 68 or so. But he's in a good run of form. He should surely be a little bit more focused than he currently is. There's the driver market. Again, we'll come back to that more towards the end of the season. Finances and finance history. We have never had this much money before, but as I've said before, there's a reason for that. Reminder of the standings. We are currently 9th with 47 points. Gasly's the only one that can catch us realistically. And we're not catching Sainz, are we? We'd need to pretty much win every race between now and the end of the season to do that, and we're not going to be doing that. Schwartzman, though, look at that, 18 points. He could yet catch Tsunoda. And we are sitting there 5th in the Constructors, trying to fend off AlphaTauri. 9 points we have over... 9 points or 11 points? 11 points we have maths we have over them. But again, we're not catching Ferrari, but 5th would be a very good result for us. Now, season results, you can see there, we bounced back with a 10th place finish after 2 DNFs, but it was not how we got 10th in that race, I will never know. Now, last year in Mexico, we came 21st, but if you remember, we were in a pretty good place, and we got tagged around by Schwartzman, and he spun us out. So we were better than 21st, I think. I may have even crashed out at the end because I was annoyed. I can't remember what happened, but I remember definitely getting spun. The rivalry with Stroll, we are 3 points back with how many races? 3 races to go. So We need to have a good weekend here, don't we? And my driver details there, nothing much really changes. Average finish 13th, average start for 14th, and 1 pole position. We may never get another one of those. But let's go back and sim ahead. Now, one thing I did want to quickly discuss is for next season in the game.
Parts have completed without issue.
Okay, so that
the car ready for the next
is for that. But what I'm thinking of doing for next season is reducing the championship down to 16 races so we get through them a little bit quicker.
We need you to step in and make an executive decision here.
We'll park that to one side for a second here. So we've got a situation where the durability department head and Schwartzman had a disagreement. So the department lead has more experience on the matter. We should side with them. Is the department lead. Schwartzman is on track. So we get a 50% reduction, a 10% reduction. You know what? I will take the second driver focus and less R&D points, I think.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
Yeah. But anyway, what I'm thinking of doing is 16 races and then just sort of doing a random wheel spin to decide the 16 races. And for the first year, I think we'll put in Imola, Jeddah, the Saudi Arabia track, and Portimao, which are new to the game. We haven't had a chance to race them. But let me know what you think of that as an idea. 16 race season, and we'll just sort of randomly pick the races. But let's head off to Mexico for the Mexican Grand Prix. I did kind of mention that at the end of last episode, but it was... You probably all stopped watching. It was after the race, so yeah, I don't think anybody heard it. We have not much chance of rain during qualifying in the race. A high cash balance. Oh yeah, we know that. Yes, thanks, Andrea. We are very much aware of that. I'll go do some free practice, and I will see you for qualifying 1. Alright, free practice is done. We were tucked just inside the top 10 on the 2 dry sessions. FP1 was wet early on, and I didn't bother going out when it was dry, so we were way down the order on that one. So we might be able to get the job done here. Let's head into Q1 though.
Slower than your teammate is faster.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. So we've already done a run and it's not been very good. When I say get the job done, I am of course referring to getting into Q3, nothing more than that. We are really fast in the first sector. We're very competitive in the final sector. The middle sector is what's letting us down. And we're not even doing good first and third sectors so far this session. You can see we do have a delta. Obviously, I've been getting a poor exit out of that turn 3 previously. This is one of the corners that is causing me a lot of annoyance. You may remember it. That's where we got spun around by Schwartzman last year. And the stadium section as well is annoying. Alright, got through there, 7/10 up, so this is a decent lap. Got to finish it off now. Nose in, the gas down. Been pretty decent, 1.7 up, and it is P13. Well, I took a gamble. And it didn't pay off. That lap was not good enough to get us through. We have missed out. Look at George Russell. 2/10, 2/100. What is that? 2/100 of a second. And we're starting P17.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Lewis Hamilton and Sainz, Leclerc, Ocon, Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo, Vettel, Stroll, George Russell, Oldtimer, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Fernando Alonso and Nicholas Latifi, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin and Robert Schwartzman. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So, grid penalties elsewhere have saved our bacon. P14, we can race from there, as they say. A good start. We can overtake on this track as well. And we have our own selection of tyres. So, do we do this, go halfway, stick on the softs? Or do we start on the softs, try and get into the top 10, and then bring it home from there? I wonder if that's what we want to do. But everybody else will be on softs likely later on. Let's let's do that. I know some of you guys have said that my strength is getting it off the line and making up positions early. So if we go to, say, lap 10 on the softs, go to the second stint, throw on the mediums late on, there's a little bit to like about that, isn't there? And we can always move the stop forward if the tyres are fading a little bit sooner than that. But there we go. That's what we're going to do. And, well, let's see if it brings any dividends for us. Take a little bit of the gas out we don't need. And, yeah, let's see if we can score some points in Mexico. Alright, here we go. Very hazy Mexican Grand Prix, it looks like. There is no real chance of rain, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's see what sort of start we get on the soft tyres, of course. Looks as though we're going forward compared to those around us. On-track rival Stroll. Now, we've got a long time to think about what we're going to do at the end of this straight. It is incredibly long. Now, one thing I've sort of adapted to doing is just rolling out of the throttle. There's a nice little gap in there behind the Ferrari. There was very close with Gasly. Was there contact? I don't know, if I'm being completely honest. Doesn't look as though there's any damage on the car. And we can see we are up to P8, so a cracking start. That's up 6 places, if my maths is correct. The Red Bull's battling there. Now, if we can hang on to that front group, we just might be in for a really good result here, which I did not see after getting knocked out in Q1. But you never know your luck, do you? Let's see what we can do through the S's. This is the one part of the track where the car it doesn't quite feel like we have the downforce. Kind of see it there as we run a little bit wide compared to those in front of us. But there is quite the gap to Gasly behind, so I think he must have, a little bit deep on the brakes there. I think he must have made contact, and I would suspect perhaps damaged his front wing. But there's, 3.5 gallons, like Ocon's got past him now. Yellow flag as well behind us there, not sure what's happened. Maybe somebody running off the track. But anyway, we've finished the first lap. And we're already at a DRS, so the Ferrari's ahead. Ocon behind is, a very comfortable gap. And there's signs that this might be a bit of a lonely race for us. Hopefully no one behind us is going to catch us, though Ricciardo back there, the McLaren is quick. And if I keep making up my own track as we go, that's not going to help, is it? You can see Norris is leading the race, so I suspect Ricciardo, who took penalties, didn't he? In qualifying, or certainly you'd imagine he did. He may well catch us from behind, but I mean, we've been quicker more or less than the Alpines most of the season, or certainly the second half of the season. You can kind of see on board here now through the S's, and yeah, I mean, this is new soft tyres, and we just, yeah, I mean, that wasn't too bad. A little bit of extra width on the exit there, but no harm, no foul. See if we can tuck it in this time. That's a little bit better. And I've got a little bit of overdriving there deep, and that's going to cost a lot of time. You do lose a lot of time in slow corners just because you're in the corner for longer, obviously. And that error has let the Ferraris get away. It is now 3 seconds.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I don't think that's going to affect us too badly. We're going to skip ahead now. We're going to skip ahead to lap 4. And halfway through it, you can see Ricciardo has got past Ocon, and he is now rapidly catching up to the back of us as well. I don't think this is our battle. He is, as I've said, he's in the same car as the guy that's leading the race. So, we're in P8 right now. You suspect it's going to become P9. The Ferraris are 4 seconds up the road. They're going over a second a lap faster than us. Ocon, worryingly, perhaps, has caught up a little bit. Maybe getting dragged along by Ricciardo somewhat. But Ricciardo is going to have DRS down this straight. And it's long, and he's dragging up behind us. He goes to the inside. Are we going to fight it? We duck back in behind, and if it was anybody else, maybe I stick the nose in, but not my boy Denny Rick. As I said, it's not our battle. He's far faster than we are, and he drives away. Now, can we stick in his DRS zone, and maybe he can move us up towards the back of the Ferraris? That's certainly going to be the hope here. Didn't take that corner too badly that time. I always find in the race, just being around other cars, which you're not usually in practice and qualifying, you can see the tyres still in relatively good nick. Oh, a bit deep there, a little bit of aero wash. Whoa, a four-wheel drift. And that is going to have cost us a lot of time. And there goes Ricciardo out of DRS range. And unless we have something very special through this stadium section, I don't see us being able to... Oh, it's tantalizingly close, isn't it? But there's the DRS line there, I think. Or is it this one here? There's a DRS line there somewhere. Another little bit of drift coming out of the last corner, and that is...
Okay, you're in the top 10. A new strategy is available on the MFD. We're leading our teammate by 16.6 seconds.
So yeah, that is Ricciardo gone, and so we will skip ahead now to lap 8. Now pit stops, you will see as the tower on the left-hand side there is jumping around, have begun. There's Ricciardo into the pits. And we move up to P5. As the starters...
Jeff, if DRS has to break, this might be a good race for it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to need DRS this race, if I'm honest. You can see the tyres there are quite worn. The plan was to go as long as we can on the softs. Now, that's 2 more laps, this lap and the next one. So we'll see how we go. I tend to, and it's obvious for anyone that's been watching for a while, I do tend to struggle on the mediums. I think especially if I start on the softs, I tend to struggle on the mediums more so. So, I mean, maybe that's something I should consider moving forward in starting on mediums, is that I can then go to the softs and go a little bit faster. But, yeah, we come through the S's. We don't have the grip we had at the start of the race. So, 7th gear has become 6th gear through most of those. We're using the butt as much as possible. I don't want to lose any time, or as little time as possible during this phase where there's going to be cars coming in on fresh tyres. If we can try and brake as even as possible, and then we'll have better tyres at the end. But the gap to Ricciardo and the Ferraris in front was such that we'll do very well.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
So we are coming in this lap.
We're winning, Jeff. We're winning.
And by going longer than anybody else, we have gone to the front. So that's very, very nice. So let's do a lap, a tour the first in the race. And see what it's like to be leading. We haven't done it in a while. Schwartzman's in.
Robert is in the pits. Robert in the pits.
Thank you, Jeff. I think I just mentioned that. But yeah, we've got 3 seconds over Norris. It's hopefully not going to... There he is there, just in the background. Hopefully he's not going to catch us this lap. That would mean we are losing a lot of time. But we can see there Ricciardo, who was in front of us, is in 9th right now. Obviously, if we come in, you'd imagine he's going to get past us. It's whether we can slip in front of Ocon and hold on to that P9. But points are looking decent here, aren't they? I mean, even if Ocon was to get past us, there's 10 seconds back to his teammate, Fernando Alonso. So, Schwartzman's doing okay up there in 16th as well, isn't he? You would imagine there's a few cars in front of him that haven't stopped, so he might make up a few places yet as well. And here we go into the pits. Let's hope it's a quick one.
Well, this is going unexpectedly well. I don't think we're going to have to use DRS this race. We'll see where we pop out after the stops, of course. Hopefully, we won't have lost too much time to Ocon with him going a little bit longer.
Go now.
Ricciardo's already gone past, has he? So we've lost a lot of time to him.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
So we can see Ocon is in the background, so we have managed to stay in front of him. Ricciardo is, what's that, 7 seconds up the road. Fresh medium tyres. It's looking a little bit like a lonely race, isn't it? We started the race in a little pocket of space and we pretty much stayed there. So we'll skip ahead again now to lap 16, the end of lap 16. You can see Ocon is getting a little bit close for comfort, but he's still outside the DRS range. But
we've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
You will see over on the right-hand side there, Hamilton coming out of the pits. And also Leclerc something has happened to Leclerc. I wasn't able to figure out exactly what it was, but you can see he's down there now in 10th and dropping. So he must have come into the pits as well, possibly damaged. So I suspect maybe a collision between Leclerc and Hamilton. But Hamilton on soft tyres try.
Right, some information on Ricardo. They are out of the race.
Well, there we go. The yellow flag Ricardo pulling off there really did mean we had no chance of a bit of a dive bomb on Hamilton. But to be honest, 2 laps to go, him on fresh soft tyres, he would have got us eventually anyway. So it maybe just saved me a risk of losing some nose or doing some damage and losing more time to Ocon behind. But that is P7. And considering we started P14 and qualified P17, that's not too bad, is it? But we're coming into the last lap and we've got a little bit wide there. Ocon, 1.3 seconds. Can we keep him out of DRS range? Did I go a little bit deep there? It's not been the best through the stadium. And Ocon is now inside DRS range. Less than a second. In fact, it's just over half a second. And we've got to the inside there, just trying to not help him out with a toe. He doesn't seem to figure it out. Now he's figured out what we're doing. So we go back to the outside. He is getting worryingly close, but not close enough. But there is, of course, a double dose of the DRS. And looks like we've got a little bit deep there as well. And we could be in a little bit of trouble at the end of this straight. He is right behind. You can see we've drained the battery down these 2 straights. He goes to the outside, late on the brakes as we dare. Can we squeeze him out a little bit? We can. Just got to stick to the apex there now. There's no way really to overtake here unless you make a mistake. We can get as good an exit as possible.
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
Okay, Jeff, we've just got to get to the end of this lap. And again, we've just got to not make a mistake. But he gets the aero wash. Norris has gone on to win the race. And yeah, this is the last DRS zone, and unless we make a mistake now, there's not going to be a place to overtake. So a little bit nervous at the end there, and of course we're not done yet. Just going to make sure we hit our apexes here, don't leave a gap for him to overtake us. That's a worrying sound. Is that a lack of petrol? He has a little look down the outside, but there's no way there.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
What a boring race. Honestly, I think I fell asleep at one point. I slowed up at the end to let Ocon catch up just for some excitement. I mean, did anything happen? So a little bit close with Ocon at the end there, so I was struggling on the medium tyres, and Hamilton coming out of the pits I think actually threw me off a little bit. I just felt like I lost my rhythm those last couple of laps. When he got I don't know, just him being there. I think I thought, oh, maybe I can beat him. And anyway, 7th is very good. We would have taken that at the start of the race. And look at Schwartzman coming from last to 11th. Oh, so unlucky not to go and get himself a point there as well. But crucially, we have just about seen off AlphaTauri with that. Tsunoda got himself a point. Gasly doesn't look like he got anything. So if we go and check the standings, you can see there we are there in 9th. That's where we're going to finish, I'd say, at this point, unless Gasly can somehow win a race or something. I can't see him catching us. And the constructor side of things, again, that's given us an even bigger buffer over AlphaTauri now, and it's looking as though we're going to finish 5th. So we've gone from 8th, I think we got last year, wasn't it? 8th or 9th, up to 5th. Could we challenge one of the big 4 next season? That's a big step to take, but it would be nice to think maybe we could. So the battle with Stroll will go on. We've actually lost a point there because he beat us in qualifying, of course. So it is now 4 points with 2 races remaining, and I will need to be on my game, won't we? But guys, that'll do it for today. If you have enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We'll be back next time. I believe the next race, is it Brazil or is it Australia? It's one or the other. I can't remember if it's Melbourne or Sao Paulo next, but it's one of those two. We didn't get driver of the day. We didn't qualify P10 or better, so not a good day for the sponsors. But anyway, guys, as I said, that's it for today. I will see you next time in either Brazil or Australia. We'll figure it out when we get there. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.